Let's make it do what it do. So, really quickly in review, what was done last night and earlier tonight before I was on stream. We made some UI improvements, like adding the map names to the little warm-up screen. That was a little quick, easy, quality of life thing. The other one was the scoreboard's been reworked a little bit. It had some ancient UI assets in it, and the map and game mode has been added to that. The next part of our lane blocking mechanics. So this mode's really lane based for like your capture routes. It's a kind of a capture the flag mode. So both sides have 3 of these trees that you can cut down, and it blocks an important lane. And when we tested it, we discovered that first off, it used to not catch on fire, so you didn't really know. It didn't really justify like, hey, why can't I jump over this? The other part of it was when all 6 were cut down, the map became very maze-like, which was quite fun as a scroll capture roll, but not that fun for the other characters, so you basically could only cut through that little tunnel. So everyone kind of unanimously stumbled upon, hey, make the trees destroyable again once they fall, but make it take longer to clear the path. So I worked on that, and now you can cut through the blockers. Branches fly around after you destroy it, and now the path's reopen for the rest of the match. Voila. So, originally, So, what I'm going to work on tonight, originally in this mode, there were 3 scroll spawn points, one down here, one here, and one here, and it was one scroll both teams were trying to get. So the map size, what happened to this particle effect? So the map size was appropriate for 24 players. But we made it classic CTF where you cross the map to get the enemy flag and bring it all the way back. So this map is freaking gigantic. So what I'm going to try to do is move the bases a little bit forward and rework the areas that are changed. I'll have to do some retrofitting and maybe some just creative problem solving to figure that out. So both of the maps have this problem. The other issue with the other Capture the Scroll map is that it only has one tiny choke point into the capture base. So when you're chasing someone down, it's either, depending on the circumstance, too easy or too difficult. So what's probably going to happen is this base is going to move up to roughly here. That'll cut about 5 seconds off of travel. The same thing to the other side, and that should cut about 10 total seconds off of the capture route. This map doesn't necessarily need additional base access. However, I'm going to connect it to this path so you can capture it from the side. So we'll see how that works out. And then these center island areas are probably all but gone. And then I'll have to see how the fallen tree plays into all of this. So in the meantime, if you have any questions at any time, just ask away, and I will answer them when I see them. And if you're new to the stream, I'm Matt. I'm the lead dev on Hanako Honor and Blade, which is this game. We're an Unreal 4 class-based multiplayer game, and now I want to show one of our devs the tree stuff. And one of the other things to recap last stream, so the Hanako, one of the clans has always been red, and all of the symbols are red, and that is very confusing because in almost every game ever, enemies are also red. So I've been reworking some stuff to, Hanako has a gold emblem on their armor and a lot of their art, so I'm trying to replace all of the red for Hanako with gold. So it's not so confusing. But anyway, let me chop a tree real quick. So this tree system that I made basically lets you cut one tree. You can have it domino with an infinite amount of trees. I just make a list of them in order. They catch on fire, and then it basically swaps into a destructible after it falls, and that can be any delay. The lane's blocked, I can't get over it. So now this is a destructible in its own right. So there's 3 swaps that occur with this. So there's some flying branches, and now it's clear again, and now I can... This is the only one that's a combo. And I actually haven't tested it. All of these are even like attackable. I might have to resolve some bugs with these, but I'm not sure if I might have screwed up some math. No, the capsule's there. Oh, I see. The box is just like too far out to reach. Okay, so I can get to it with like other attacks. I'm actually kind of okay with that for now. But what happens is because so this one basically, this set of 3 blocks the center lane. This blocks the outside, and then there's 2 in the middle. People were cutting all of them, and then like you had to be really creative on your capture routes, and it was kind of cool to like run across and be like, oh shit, this one's blocked, and then you'd run over here and be like, oh crap, that one's blocked, and while you're trying to figure out a viable route, you're getting chased by 4 or 5 people. It made the mode a lot more enjoyable to play, because before it was kind of like just flag run and don't get caught, and you could play a whole match without ever fighting anyone, and that's not very fun. But yeah, it's nice when you do a play test and everyone kind of unanimously determines the same end result. It's like, yo, we want to cut through these because it gets real tough. Eventually I should probably do like a wood fracture simulation on this tree and actually like make it a nice destruction with more pieces and stuff, but for now it's a nice little gamey, at least you get feedback that you did something. But it's nice to be able to kind of cut your way through, and it makes sense that the one that's fallen is twice as hard. So it's nice and quick, so you get kind of that like... The other thing is when it's falling, it kills anyone that's in the way. We actually had a quadra kill. Someone had their team chop this down to the last hit and just stand there and wait. It was like right here, and they ran by with the scroll with like 5 people and a couple bots chasing, and right as they passed, they hit the final hit, so it fell and killed like all of them, and then the scroll carrier got away, which was one of the cooler kills that's ever happened in the game. I was like, holy shit, I can't believe they pulled that off. It happened though. So it's just a blueprint that plays an actor sequence that just is an animation of the tree falling. Well, really, it's a destructible that when it's destroyed, it changes to basically a null skeletal mesh. It's just like a infinitely scaled down try. It turns the static mesh visibility back on. The tree falling does deal damage. Right now, the fire doesn't. It really... There's already like a pain trigger in here from when it falls. I probably should just add one back, because if the ninja buys the grasshopper, I think they can get over these. Yeah. So I probably should make it a pain volume that just kills you. But for now, I'm actually okay with you being able to get over that, because you bought a skill to do it. But it's a little cheesy that the ninja's the only class that can. So that's eventually, I know in my head the right move is to just make it kill you. Acid Rain, what's going on? What's kind of nice in the other map is because it's so small, I only need one tree at any given time, and it kind of lets you, it falls down an incline, so if you're coming up to like get the scroll with the ninja, you can go over it, but you can't jump back, so it's kind of becomes a one-way path that gives the advantage to the opposing side for crossing over and destroying it. But now that they're neutral and anyone can attack any of them, it's kind of just been people just go cut them down because they're there. Other than the few strategic leave the last hits. But yeah, anyway, time to fix how long this map is, because with the the travel time's just too long. So I'm just gonna start grabbing stuff and moving it. It needs to move the exact amount of units as the other side, so I'm not gonna mess with too much of the stuff. And this really makes me wish I would have made folders for these selections for like, hey, this is base 1, this is base 2. So I have the volume, the curtain walls. I'm gonna go ahead and grab these curtain walls as well. And then I'll add more to the back later. There is a victory cinematic back here. It's gonna change, but for now, I don't want to disturb it too much. You know, it's interesting with the falling trees, because I feel like it's one of those like game development things. Like when you're doing game design, like when we added these ritual totems, that it's just like a circle you go meditate in, it gives you a team buff, or you go do like a meditate in the black smoke ones and it curses the enemy team. I really didn't think that was going to be that fun. And I remember in team meetings, other devs were like, meditating in a circle is not fun. Like, why? You're not doing anything. But the result of doing it is fun, because you can like disable sprint on a mode where sprinting is very important, or disable abilities for the enemy team, and that like troll factor like completely changed every game mode. They went over with players so much better than I thought. I was like, well, this is going to be a side mechanic that people don't really do. But they're they're almost like a meta now. It's like doing buff camps in the jungle in a MOBA. Like, you have to do them now. Which, I mean, you don't have to, but they're like, it's like, hey, this mode's way more fun when we do them, so let's play. And the falling trees were in that same thing. I was like, you know, capture the scroll is the one mode that I want to skip. Like, every time we play capture the scroll, I'm ready for the next mode. The other modes I like playing. This mode I've never liked. When we did the last free weekend, it was like a come to Jesus. I went to Ajani and the other devs that you know, helped with the modes. Like, you know, this mode stinks. It's the only mode I really wanted to not play. And we kind of agreed like, hey, let's just redo it. And it was making it classic CTF didn't do the job in my opinion. But when we did the falling trees, the first week I just did like the center path is blocked and it's owned by like the local team. So like Yamai would have to defend this area, but no one really did them, and it didn't really end up making it was an equal advantage disadvantage because both teams are blocked. So everyone was kind of like, just we want to attack them anytime, anywhere, and just leave it up to us to figure out what's the right way to use them. And Connor had said that before we even play tested. He's kind of like one of the co-founders, and he helps a lot with design and writing and stuff like that. I said, you know what, that sounds great. I'll do it next play test. We did it. People loved it. And then the next step was, hey, we really want to be able to cut through these. Now we have that. Oh yeah, we don't. It looks like you can jump over them. Can you just like put them on fire? I was like, yeah, that sounds great. And this is kind of, I feel like it's the right thing for this mode to now be as fun as the other modes. And it's different. The other modes don't have the falling trees. Maybe they'll need them, but for now it suits this mode well. So I'm just going to try to move this in even 1024 and just see if that's far enough. I think 1024 is roughly the amount of units I wanted this to be. I'm gonna end up flattening the landscape, but I do want to raise this just a tiny bit, maybe. Actually, no, I'll leave this and make the landscape work. I'm gonna leave these guys for now. So this map's getting closer bases, the other map is getting 3 pathways to each base. Because you guys have played the Shiga Forest map, like the bottlenecks into the bases are so narrow, they're like 2 players wide, and when 5 bots and 5 players are clogging it up and you're trying to get a scroll or capture a scroll, it doesn't play well. Oops. Back to 1024. Yep. And that's fine, these rocks are gonna move. I actually think I'm gonna move these rocks in a way that you can like run up and leapfrog off for both teams. There's still a lot of space. I think I could, there's so much space on this side. I almost think I can move it another 1024. The problem is this side doesn't have that much space. I'm pretty sure 1024 is going to be like right in this, and then this is going to be, I might have to lower this and make it playable. The point I was trying to make earlier about like the meditation sites and everything is that oh, those actually don't work in game. They're like objective beams that show you that it's like an active objective. In editor view, they still show, but they don't, since these are like side objectives, they don't do anything when you actually play. In the other modes, they always go on destructibles and capture points. It was one of those navigation things where people were getting lost all the time. And the age-old light beam. It's one of those, it's just a cone, like a scaled cone with one of those like camera distance materials that just fades the opacity inverted based on camera distance to absolute world position. And it just pans like a cloud texture. And I think it has a Fresnel too, but a Fresnel. Alright, so I think this is good. Where's the... Whoa, did that get moved? It did get moved. Where's the capture volume? So this volume's like gigantic now. Let me just see what's going on with the landscape. So I'm just going to take the flattener brush for now and just get the front of this base figured out. And then I'll smooth the existing stuff. I have a lot of space over here, so I think I'm gonna try to move these guys up to where like this rock is. So let's go ahead and grab these guys. Let me see if I move these 1024. Yep, right on that rock. And I want a similar height. I do want players to be able to run. The tree path is still out of the way. They have this path. They still have the forward path. They have the run up and jump capture path. And then they have... I do think I'm gonna have to move these. Yeah, that's fine actually. Oh my god, that brush is so slow. Let me fade this out a little bit. Just get a little more space before I fade this in. Happy landscape. Okay. Oh, it's because it's rebuilding nav mesh every single time I commit the brush. There's a setting I could turn off for that, but whatever. Smooth this out now. Actually, I'm going to turn that off. It's called... Update nav mesh automatically. That's the one. I'm just going to turn that off for now. Come back to turn that back on later. I don't need bot paths yet. So what the heck is that volume? What is this? Oh, it's a nav modifier. Don't need that anymore. The scroll volume needs to come up. And then there's the capture, scroll capture volume. These bushes can go F themselves. I actually think that these guys can actually move back to where they were. And then what I'm gonna do, I do want the capture volume is actually going to be a little bit smaller. And I'll do the same for Hanako's. It's super annoying that it scales the border mesh too. Yay, I picked the right mirror the first time. That never happens. Oh, thanks a lot, Acid Rain. That was a day, that's for sure. Is this really off grid that much? Noob. Noob. This one needs to be the double post. Yeah, there we go. It's one of the very few things in the Hey I Did It museum of personal history. Especially for this project. This project has been an exercise in rejection and disappointment, but it's you learn a lot from those types of things. It was I don't know if it'll all be worth it by any reasonable measure, but it kind of was, or has been. So there's the capture line. You do have. It's real. I wish it just updated grass to conform to the landscape. It's super annoying that it doesn't. Like I have landscape grass in here, but it's super annoying to me that the foliage doesn't. That would be a good hotkey, like select, I mean, I guess end usually does that, but it should be like, it's based on the pivot. That's not that bad. Okay, so I think that you should be able to, I'm just gonna put on test mode for now so I don't have to wait for the warm up every time. Remind me to change that back. Because we've gone to playtest where it's in test mode, and it's this mode where it's like 3 kills gets you to the end of the match, and yeah. So I already know these guys need raised up. Definitely some paint layer. Why is this one lag so much? It doesn't build nav for this. Yeah, there we go. Some grass. Definitely need some oh my god, I have to toggle that translucent selection so much. Okay. So there's 2 entries, or really 3. Let me see, let me test this jump a little bit. I'm okay with like a giant jump. I think it's kind of cool. Yeah, you might. I'll try without the jump. Ooh, I forgot that I need to move the scroll up. What good is the scroll if it's way in the back of the thing? Totally forgot about that. Ew, this is the old flags. You can see how kit bashed everything is. I feel exposed. You can see all the secrets. So this should move forward 1024. Or sorry, 2040. Or yeah, that's actually kind of a nice spot for it. It's going to totally break the victory cinematic, but I think I want it right, yeah, I want it right here. I do want this grass to go away though. Don't need grass where this thing is. Spotlight just to give a little bit of obviousness to it. Though I think it has a beam now too. Can't remember. I always start to test one thing and then I get distracted and then I don't even test the thing. First, it's a little steep, but the other side is extremely steep too. That's not smooth. That really should be smooth. Let me do... Can't step on, let me see, walkable slope override. Let's increase walkable slope to 80 degrees on this thing. There's a trick if you don't want to completely change your whole game settings, but you want players on one mesh. And I guess my per4 session expired. Yes, it did. There we go. Ooh, so normal jump, you can't just jump straight in. I'm assuming with the double jump you can. Now you guys have played the game, so if you think that's really stupid that one class has a skill that they can like run up this and like float jump over, I need to know that before I commit to making that a thing. But I need to make sure, I'm pretty sure that this jump skill will let you basically fly in from this. And it's just short, which I actually really love that. That means there might be one spot that you can. I'd actually be okay with if it's like a super crazy like skill based, where you have to find the. Okay, so you can. How do you guys feel about that? 2 OP. Alternatively, I can raise this cliff to where no one can go on it ever, and it's not play space, and you have to do the thing. The only problem I have with it is that getting here as a ninja with grasshopper skill is essentially a guaranteed capture, and it's not as. I mean, I guess you could shoot him out of the air, but that would be a pretty difficult thing to do. I might slide it forward a little bit. I don't really want you to be able to land in base. Let's move it like 32. Is this one even... Oh, okay, that's the one that's over here. Ooh, I know what I'm gonna do. Plant a tree right in the middle of it. Just to make it a little harder. Because people are already kind of used to jumping off of that in this match. But I also think Yamai wins this match an awful lot. It is fun to try to catch a ninja before he makes that. Let's play around with it a little bit more. So now you have to... Yeah, you there's a little bit of a thing. Middle path between the rocks. Yeah, because the other map's going to get 3 access points. So there could be just a narrow straight shot opening that like shoots out, and then you have like kind of this tree to fight around. That's kind of a cool idea. Let's see if we can make it work. I like it. Because then it's not just this giant obvious ramp. Like this screams, please run and jump off the edge. So what I'm gonna do is scale this guy a little bit. And rotate. Okay, so that's a little more narrow now. And I'm fine with it getting narrow near the end because defense becomes easier, but also if enemy forces can actually get through those points, you have some nice... I want there to be a little bit of fighting like in here. Leaving a little like arena space in the front has worked well in other maps. Ooh, there's just rocks under there. I need to clean that up. So I think this could scale down a little bit. It's going to come up and then rotate and then come back over. And then I need to delete this rock. And then I need... So yes, you're running flag route. You also can still approach from this way and come down. You have this side approach. No, almost no one takes this, but you can. This is a nice little... Because you still could run up this and try to jump down, but you're... I'm going to do this, actually. I'm going to change this back and raise this a little bit. Because I think it's cool that if you can jump on this and then jump off, the jump to the time that slows your route significantly, but you can still do it. And if you choose to do that rather than just continuing your sprint, I think that balances out. And the slope is such that you don't draw the entire front of the map. it's a pretty straight shot through here. But if this triangle gets blocked by lane blockers, once you get to this point, you have to go around through this skinny choke or this one and go around. So there's a pretty huge reason to hit these. Yeah, that was a nice suggestion. I like this. I'm gonna put another tree right here. Smaller one though. So now I'm gonna check. Build pass, take a look at navigation. Yep, bots can still get through there barely. Ooh, actually, I don't think bots can run on that. I need to. I don't want nav mesh up there. Yeah, there we go. Drop the center of that middle path down so it dips. What do you mean? Because it does slope down already. It's a little straight here, but then it slopes rapidly. Might leave this rock here just so there's like a real narrow like double split right there, or you can jump over it. Nav mesh good. I hate when nav mesh goes on top of rocks. It's so frustrating. Like I want it to move. Okay, as long as it connects still. Okay, let me make sure, let me get the bulky guy and run through here to make sure it feels right. I really like where this is going. I like that better than like the old just big ass ramp. That's a nice suggestion, acid rain. Yeah, so this is about 3 players wide. It stays about 3 players wide, but it splits here before it opens, so it funnels you to one of the 2 side paths. I think the ninja, oh yeah, so you can barely jump up there, which is ideal. And then you have your capture options. All right. So I'm going to delete this floating grass. Yeah, we'll be testing this Wednesday for sure. Well, I'm not supposed to have this done until November 4th, but I think I'm going to have my whole 2-week sprint done this week, which is great because I can start on new stuff. We have our last map to do art pass on that I was supposed to start on, but I ended up moving this a month or 2 sooner since that map's not quite ready yet. So this side's going to be a little bit harder because there's just more going on. Like there's already a fallen tree in the way. So I think that this base is going to be quite a bit more difficult to manipulate because there's just not a lot of space over here. This side's way more cramped. But I know the front of the capture volume has to move forward 1024 units. So let's just go ahead and get that figured out. Figure out that part in a minute. So I think I did, this was, so there's 2048. I think I can probably move these, what did I move these, 512 or an additional 1024? Because I have blocking volumes around this. On this side, these things aren't even play space, which I'm now realizing how amazingly unbalanced this map is. So I'm going to go ahead and delete this volume, and I'm just going to go ahead and like delete. I'd like to preserve this lane blocker, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to. Nope. It's something we've needed for a long time that we could increment like team victories per map and do an aggregated Steam stat pretty easily, but we haven't done that yet either. So I'm going to get this part fixed up first. Yeah, this side's way more difficult to work with because there's not a lot of space. Oh, I bet they are. I wish we had them. So. Yeah, this one has kind of two converging paths. It's like the one path. This has a singular path, and then a completely blocked. Yeah, this map is like real weird. I actually think from these new volume locations, this is the class from the front to center, that's 6100. I doubt that this is also 6100. Ooh, yeah, this is actually wow, the Hanako base front is at, no wonder there's no space. I think the Hanako base is already good from map center. So the Yamai base was super far away. They were like, wow, that was like, the old base was back here. So that was, yeah, it was almost 3,000 units further than Hanako base. Hanako base, wow, I'm pretty blown away by that. 71. Technically, this base should still move a little bit closer. Oh yeah, Unreal has that built in. It's called like Bugget space. You give it like a descriptor and it takes a screenshot that it puts in a folder named whatever the name was. It gives you a coordinate command and a bunch of other information. But our shipping builds don't have console. Unreal doesn't, like when you do a distribution build, it cooks console out. We can do a different build config that's like, it's pretty much a shipping build, but it has console. I'm still amazed that the base for this was already okay. So what I'm gonna do instead is reopen this and don't save and hope that I saved everything over here. I'm gonna hope that I didn't already sculpt. And I'm going to leave this base alone, but I'm going to create that second opening. So this base is already okay, distance-wise, but it's imbalanced in terms of the things. This one technically should move closer, but I do think it's close enough. It was very not close enough before. Wow, no wonder there's so much space on the other side. It was 3,000 units further. So I'm going to take a look at my measurements one more time. It's weird that sometimes top view has volumes in it and other times it doesn't. Oh, that's why. So I'm going to go to like a 32 grid here. So from the front of the scroll capture volume to map center is about 7,000. 71. 74. Yeah, this is close enough. depending on the path, it's roughly 7,000 to 7,500 units. It was because really the base distance affects both teams because Yamai had to cross all the way over here, grab it, go all the way back. Hanako had to go all the way across, all the way back. So it wasn't when it was neutral. I would wager if we had heat maps that Hanako would have won a substantially higher amount of games because they were way closer to map center, and the ritual sites and the neutral scroll sites used to be center as well. So Hanako had a gigantic advantage. Um, I think you saw Impact Ajani. He's our lead programmer, and he's big time about analytics and heat maps and stuff like that. And hopefully, it's something that it's on our roadmap to get that kind of stuff. Like I believe the data is being gathered. It's just not anywhere that it can be interpreted well. The hard part about this one too is like there's already a fallen tree like right at this. I guess that's fine. We'll see how it plays out. Oh, this decreases walkable slope? That's interesting. I'm actually okay. So that doesn't really narrow that path or that path too much. That's about the same as the other one. Get these rocks out of here. Do you think that the collision on this tree is going to get in the way? I could fix that though. On this axis, it doesn't really need to be that big anyway. It just needs to be the way that when it falls, it needs to be on like the backside. What I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna move this one just a little bit, just so the collision doesn't screw with this path so much. And then I'm gonna do the same thing, plant a tree in the middle. Give me that pretty blue spruce. about right there. And then I want a snow rock. To split this path, same as the other one. And let me build paths, make sure that nav mesh isn't borked. Yep. Nav mesh can get through there. All right, and we have ourselves some modified bases. This one not as modified, but it is a centered path now. I'm still so surprised that this the distance of this stuff. Yeah, there's the tree block's still pretty close over here too. Ooh, where did this rock come from? Where did that one come? Oh, those are ones that I deleted after. Okay, so those changes didn't get saved when I reopened to not ruin everything. And I bet the nav mesh is broken on this one too. Connects, and I need to move this up a little bit more because dumb, really. Okay. So let's see how I feel about this. You got this path now, cut through dead center. You basically have a nice figure eight here and a nice figure eight. You have two figure eights here. It's nice, pretty nice. Let me spruce this back up a little bit. Nice suggestion, Acid Rain. I was going to do something totally different, but I think this is better than what I was going to do. This will be a fun path because archers can light this up with the AoE. So if you want to go for the straight shot path, good luck. You're probably going to get blown up. No, I think this will be great. The main thing I think for this was getting this stuff resolved. Getting this base working a little bit better. Oh yeah, that's something else I need to check too. So let me go to top. That's 8,500 to the scroll. And there's that. 78. So this scroll is actually a good bit closer to the map center. I think I have some room to push. So this technically should get moved. I don't love it back there, but technically that's the... Yep, that's closer. And just for... I'm just doing that because the other map, it's the scroll capture thing like encapsulates. So I think I'm pretty happy with this one. While I'm at it, let me Can I copy these? If I can, I'm just gonna do this in like every map real quick. Oh, sweet, I can. Thanks, Unreal, for letting me paste stuff easily. I can't wait to fix this map. Thanks, Unreal. And if you've never seen all of our maps before, there's a quick little mini tour while I copy paste this change. What the hell is wrong with this map? What happened to the sky dome? Oh. Well then. I am going to do a thing real quick. I love when people submit things and don't check their work. So I'm getting an old version of the map to see where the... I'm not sure why the skybox got deleted, but... Oh. Oh, I see what happened. Okay, let me go back to any map and get that array stack again. That thing is very bright on this map. Oh God, what did it do? Did I have... Was there another parameter in here? For like rotation? Oh, there is a rotation vector. Well, in that case, cool. Why does it reset rotation? Okay, that was 52.8. Why is changing this? So it's a vector. It's 52.8. I'm just going to copy and add that back then because the other ones are more work. Vector. There we go. I'm gonna submit that change. Actually gonna leave. Ooh, no, I didn't do the castle maps yet. My castle can, might as well do it now. I'm only doing this for nav mesh purposes. Just so bots have a way to fight. Okay. I really wish I had more of this tea because it was excellent, and I did not save myself enough for tonight. All right, so that's submitted. All right, so we're going, I need to build lights on this map. I'll do medium. And during this portion, I won't really be able to do anything. So ask me anything about games or anything else. I'll do a little AMA segment for however long this takes, probably like 10 minutes. So ask away. Games, not games, interests, don't care. And then we'll move to the next map. God, I haven't heard any Doom 2016 songs, so whichever one you want it, whichever one you prefer to be the answer. I don't play a ton of games because I work on this in like the only free time that I get. All right, I trust that you are right. Let me at least get a pretty camera view while this is going on. Thanks. It's from many years of leapfrogging our art over and over. We've kind of shifted to having like stylized diffuse or albedo textures, but more like using PBR more in our materials, which basically means like this was the very first asset to use PBR. Like gold looks like gold, reflective stuff looks right, but the actual colors and everything are still kind of have like a painter stylization to them. PBR is physically based rendering. It's basically like when you texture stuff in like a 3D program, a lot of the new ones, you just kind of pick what it is. You're like, hey, this part's gold, this part's plastic, this part's metal, or like iron, and it knows on like a 0 to 1 range, like how rough that surface should be, like how reflective it should be, and like how metallic or not metallic it is. And it just gives you like textures that you plug into these in the material or the shader, which is basically like, here's how color is supposed to look, here's how like reflectiveness is supposed to look, here's how metallic or not metallic it is, here's like the surface detail, and you plug in different images into those slots, and that tells the engine like on this texture wherever it's white it needs to look gold. So then I have like an image that just has like this pattern stamped out in white, and then the Unreal Engine knows that that's supposed to look like gold. That's the easiest way I can think to describe it. It just makes sure that light interacts with all your surfaces closer to how it does in real life. Yep, you just say, make this gold, and it does it. No, not really. I'll show a more practical example. So this is one of our characters that I retextured recently to basically make it more physically based rendering, like make better materials and do a more stylized gold. But what I mean by I pick a color and say make it gold, let me find. So I'm gonna make a layer here and do, so I can pick. This program has a bunch of basically kind of surfaces that I mentioned. It's like there's plastic, there's different metals, and I can actually say make it gold in there, and now this is a physically accurate gold from like a lighting standpoint. And then I usually come in here and I'm like, well, our game's more stylized, so it needs to look like this. But really, like anything, so it's like, well, you know what? I want carbon fiber now. So here's carbon fiber armor, which this is definitely going to be a skin in our game at some point. And then this program images that I take into Unreal and plug in, and it'll light how it's supposed to. So if I want concrete, you see it's nowhere near as reflective, but it still catches those little speckles. I don't think anyone wants concrete armor though. Yeah, this program is one of the most fun ones to work in. You want some like lacquered armor? There's some lacquered wood armor. We were playing around with, because I mentioned before, a lot of people that play our game get really confused that the Hanako team is red. Even if you are on that team, you are still red. And I was talking to one of our, I was talking to Ajani, who's one of the co-founders of the project, and I started playing around with colors. And I was like, well, Hanako could be like off-white, like this looks kind of cool, but nothing looks cooler than gold and black. I was like gold and black looks so good that I was like, damn, I'm kind of, it kind of sucks we already used gold for oh yeah, here's the like roughness metallic property I was talking about. So like here's this is fully reflective as it gets. And like metallic, like this is how metallic it gets. And you can slide this around to get, this is like fully matte, no reflectivity at all, to full reflectivity. But yeah, the black and gold look looks really nice on these characters. But the nice thing is the way this is configured, I can set this up in Unreal easy enough that we could let players choose colors too. It's a little more work. So if someone wants like ugly 70s salmon armor, they could have it. But yeah, I'll do one more for fun. Calf skin. Yeah, here's some skin armor. Aluminum insulator. Whoa, that's awesome. I've never used this one before. That's badass. That's gonna be a skin. That looks great for Hanako. It's like the inside of jackets. That is kind of cool looking. Yeah, that's a cool pattern. Oh, it actually it has a configurable pattern. That's kind of cool. Yeah, that's a cool material. Never used that one. Diamond plating. This one you could use to make like for Yamai, like a snakeskin armor pretty easily. But yeah, this program is pretty awesome. But basically I went through the same process on this level for, like, I would stamp this pattern in that program and with the gold material, and it just kind of knew to put it there. Okay, so I have some shadow going through the path. Looks right. Looks good. Yep, works for me. Ship it. All right, let's open up Shiga Forest, and this map is getting some big time changes, and let's talk about all of them first because a number of them. So here's the obvious problem with this map. If you've never played it, I have two problems with it. The first one is the scrolls in front of the spawn, which it's not like that in any of the other modes. It drives me nuts. I really hate it. The other problem is there's only one way into the base, and it's like a 4-player wide bottleneck. Archers just pile up here, and it's really not a fun experience to fight. However, right out here, this arena space is very nice for trying to contest the scroll. So what I'm gonna do, I already have some blocked off paths. I'm going to basically cut openings into this and make 3 paths. I also have, there's some logical just landscape changes I can make to flow into the bases. So this needs to move. The other factor, same problem over here. There's already some, this side does not have as easy of carving over here because it's pretty rocky. I'm gonna have to see, I'm probably gonna have to cut in, yeah, I have landscape holes made there. I'm gonna have to probably cut in around here and loop around to this wall. This one's even worse because you can't jump over these. So there's some map imbalances, and then probably right here. I'll carve in the other one and open this up. So in both of these, the scroll's in front of the spawn. I'm okay with that. This map is more of, it does have kind of a symmetry axis, so it is technically a lot more balanced in terms of travel. But this bottleneck is a really big problem. So I got to think about this for a second because there's a lane block here. So I want to carve the path after that, so you can't, the lane block probably should affect that. So by the way, I haven't even really said much about the game tonight. So everything I'm working on during these dev streams, we generally play test every Wednesday at 10 p.m. Eastern. It's in our official Discord. That's also where all patch announcements, updates, events, everything happens. I try to do these dev streams at least once a week, but usually Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, I'm working on the game on stream, and then Wednesday, our playtest is live. The entire dev team is usually present, and it's open to the public, so it's usually some form of devs versus players, and we test out all the new changes, try out new stuff, have a good time for a couple hours, get to know you guys a little bit better, and it's really been great for getting good feedback, ideas, and growing the game slowly, one person at a time. So make sure you follow us on Twitch and join our Discord. If you're a first-time participant in a test, I will give you a key for a friend, and I may even give you a key for yourself if you don't want to spend the $7 on the game. It is in Steam Early Access, and that is how you access the game and play. So there is all of the pertinent information. So let me see. I'm gonna do the easy side first, and then I think I may stop for the night because I was up till like 3 last night working on the fallen trees, and I kind of want to go to sleep a little earlier than usual. So is there collision here? Okay, so I did like giant blockers. That's kind of stupid. So this is the most obvious one. This blocker can basically F off. What is that? Why is that so blurry? It looks terrible. Well, it's going bye-byes anyway. Bye. Oh, that was like the only tree over here. That makes this way easier. So what I'm gonna do is, that's gone. Why does that have to load so much stuff to delete one thing? That's gone. I'm gonna go ahead and... Actually, I'm just gonna delete all these across the front. So what I'm gonna do is just paint where I want this path to be, and then dress around it. the other thing I need to do is, can I do I have to individually delete clear this? Because this is like a ton of stuff I painted in here. I think what I can do here is I think I have a fallen tree. Yeah. Oh yeah, I think I can just take this volume. So that kind of blocks that path. Well, this volume wasn't even scaled to begin with. What was this even blocking? That can go bye-byes. I'm gonna put a lantern on this path for navigation. Ooh, you know what? Ooh. Oh, that's what it is. Okay. Okay, that's what it was. So map center is basically right here. So that's like 6K. And then so the Yamai one is further too. Almost forgot to change this back. All right, I think I want to sleep on this one for an evening. I want to think about this side is pretty crazy. And I know I can tell I'm gonna try to rush through this if I keep going. I'm okay with how that went. So I have a lot of editing to do on the other side of the map. I do need to fix up the landscape around here too. And do some volume work to keep players out of some of these spots. I think over here, yeah, I think I'm gonna carve in at the bottom of the stairs. And this one is gonna be, basically this tree is gonna get moved, have to get moved, and then I'll have to cut in this same way. And over here, what was I gonna do right at the bottom of the stairs? Yep. I'll carve in there a similar, like, kind of arcing path. I'll do another, like, arcing path through here, back down to the side. So that actually won't be too bad. But anyway, thanks for hanging out tonight, guys. I'll be back tomorrow night around probably 11-ish.